Natalie. Okay, I'm seeing Natalie, I'm seeing Aiden, I'm seeing Jasmine, Caitlin, and Aiden. I'm seeing Affendale, I'm seeing Layden, I'm seeing Catherine getting on. Let's get out our history books. Sasha's getting on. Catherine's almost there. Yep, let's get out our history books. Everyone's coming on. Aiden's coming on. Joshua's on. Layden's on. Affendale. Yeah, but not right now. Okay, so let's get out our history book. Let's get out, open to page 200. Let's open the 200. Third grade, how did we enjoy our break? Had a good break? Give me a thumbs up if you had a good break. Thumbs down if you didn't have a good break. Hopefully you all had a good break. Session. Page 200. You're welcome. And let's take it back. There we go. Okay, so, I'm talking on. Good morning. Nicole's getting on. Jonathan, I see him on. Okay, so history, page 200. We started off with adding the 49th state, Alaska, to the United States. We've also talked about adding Hawaii to the United States, which is our 50th state. Who did Alaska what country did Alaska belong to prior to us owning it? Catherine? Affendale. It was Russia. And because it was Russia, what was it called, Nicole? No, Alaska belonged to Russia. So what was it called prior to us buying it? You forgot? Dasha, do we remember? Russian America. Good job. Who urged or encouraged the United States to buy Russia, Natalie? Remember? Aiden. Seward, good job. William H. Seward, good job. And originally, Americans didn't think that Russia was worth anything, but then something was found there that made people rush to it. Caitlin, what was? Okay, Jocelyn. Yep. Sure. What was your question from yesterday? Uh-huh. Yep. No, that kind of sounds like it's not a nice captain, doesn't it? Okay, so the gold was found in Alaska that made people rush there to find the gold. But what else was what other natural resources does Alaska have that are also valuable? Layden, there we go. Natural gas, coal, and what looks like ink is actually oil. Oil. So they have coal, natural gas, and oil that made it very prosperous. And then we learned about Hawaiian Islands and how many islands, little islands, make up the country of Hawaii. Joshua, do you remember how many little islands make up the country of Hawaii? Aiden. It is. Well, it's not, sorry, it's not a country, it is a state, but it's a group of islands. But how many islands make it up? 100, 110. 110, good job. Who discovered Hawaii? Evelyn, do we remember? Who discovered Hawaii? Jocelyn, with her question, kind of gave us a hint. Make sure we're not fighting to get in front of the screen, please. Jonathan? Captain James Cook, good job. And then we lost when we talked about the Spanish-American War. And the Spanish-American War, what was the purpose of the Spanish-American War, Donald? They were helping to free Cuba. And there was a slogan that was said, remember the Maine. Why was remember the Maine picked as the slogan of the Spanish-American War, David? No, that was actually going back to Alaska. But remember, right before the Spanish-American War, someone sunk the battleship Maine. And with it being sunk, we blame Spain. Spain said they didn't do it. So when a call to war, they used the slogan, remember the Maine. Who, that would later become president of the United States, led a group of American soldiers in a battle of the Spanish-American War. And these soldiers were known as the Rough Riders later. Theodore Roosevelt, good job. And what was the most important battle during that war? Joshua? Oh, cool. Do we know the answer to my question now? No? Let's see. Does somebody know the answer to my question? Aiden? What was one of the most important battles of the Spanish-American War? San Juan Hill, good job. And after the war, Cuba got her freedom, and we received 3 islands from Spain. Who remembers what one of the islands that we received from Spain? Caitlin. Okay, so try your best to pay attention. Okay. Evelyn, am I frozen or broken up on your side? Or am I like normal, like you would normally see me? Normal? Okay, so that means it must be something on your end, Caitlin, because I'm appearing normal to me. Natalie, are you seeing me normal? Okay, so what's one of the islands that was received from Spain at the end of the Spanish-American War? Natalie? No, Hawaii, we actually got way before that. Leyden. Guam, another one. Aden. The Philippines, and Joshua, you got the third one? Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. Good job. So let's move on now to the Panama Canal. So if we look at my, which I don't have open, never mind. Okay, so if I looked at a map of the United States, let me just get that open so that I can share it with you. We're going to see a spot connecting Central America to North America. And keep moving along again. There we go. Not that one. So, see the picture of my map? Okay, so let me get it up bigger for you. So, if we look right down here, and there's a light purple spot, and then there's the different colors here, but there's this little yellow spot called Panama. That's what we're talking about right now, is the Panama Canal, and the Panama Canal was built in Panama. So right below, if you see, look at Panama, it connects Costa Rica to South America. This light purple here is the top of South America. And before, this was all one big piece of land. So in order to sail from, let's say, Pennsylvania, if we wanted to take a boat trip over to China, okay, so I wanted to go from Pennsylvania, which is right here, to China, which is right here, I would either have to sail down around the tip of South Africa, South America, and up to China, or I would have to sail up to the Arctic Ocean, through these islands, and down through the Bering Strait into China. They were my only two options at that point. Now, the second one is not a good option. If I sail up, the farther up I go, the more the water is cold, the more colder it is altogether. Therefore, I'm going to be sailing through what is a lot of ice and icebergs up there. So is that going to be as safe for people to travel? No, it's not. It's going to be more dangerous to travel this way. Aiden, do you have a question? I think you're muted on your end. No, I believe it's maybe. So it might have taken place in Puerto Rico. If not, it might also have been two places that had the same name. But I will look that up and get that answer for you tomorrow. Okay? So, again, if I want to sail from Pennsylvania to China, I would either have to sail around the tip of South Africa, or I would have to sail up and around this way, which this is a more dangerous way because of all the frozen water and the ice and things like that. So most people would pretty much travel this way. You want to be in kind of warmer waters. So we're going to talk about, they went and they took, right here is where the Panama Canal is, or Panama. So they built a canal through here so that ships could now come and pass through here and travel to places like China, Australia, things like that. So that is what we're going to learn about today, is how they went and through this area right here, build a canal. A canal is man-made. It's not natural. It's not like a river that goes through or a bay or things like that. A canal is man-made, where they dig away the land to allow water to come through so that ships can also come through. So it made travel easier in going from the East Coast over to like China and things like that. So let's pick up on page 200, the Panama Canal. The North American continent is connected to the South American continent by a narrow strip of land called the Isthmus. Fourth grade, we learned about the Isthmus of Panama. This thin strip of land is about 480 miles long, so 480 miles long this way, and about 30 to 120 miles wide. On one side is the Pacific Ocean, on the other side is the Atlantic Ocean. Centuries ago, when Balboa, who remembers Balboa? Remember Balboa discovered the Pacific Ocean? When Balboa first discovered the Pacific Ocean, he thought how wonderful it would be if only there was a place for ships to sail through this narrow strip of land from one ocean to another. As time passed, men talked about building a narrow strip of land called a canal, or a man-made waterway. Men talked about building across the narrow strip of land a canal, which is a man-made waterway that would connect the two oceans. However, no work was ever begun because the problems would be too great. Even in the late 1800s, it would have taken millions of dollars to build a canal. Very few countries were willing to risk such a large amount of money, but every country agreed that a canal would save ships going from ocean to ocean thousands of miles of travel. So everyone said it needs to get done. A canal needs to get built, but no one wanted to do it. It would be like your room is a mess, and it's such a mess that all your stuff, you literally have to walk over the stuff to get to your bed, and you and your mom both agree your room needs to get cleaned, but you and your mom don't want to clean it, or you and your sister don't want to clean it. Now, if it's your room, you should clean your own room. Your mom shouldn't have to clean your room. But that's similar to what it's like. Everyone agreed, yes, it would save us money, it would save us time, it'd be good for ships to be able to go through here, but no one wanted to go through the problems of building it. In 1878, the French were the first to attempt to build a canal, but they ran into problems and had to stop. The Spanish-American War made it the United States realize how important a canal would be to our country and to our country's safety. During the war, a United States battleship was ordered to sail from California to Cuba. So California is here, Cuba is here. So guess what it had to do? It had to sail all the way around the tip of South America, come up into Cuba. The ship began the long trip and finally reached Cuba 68 days later. By that time, the war was nearly over and it didn't help. So the fact that no one took time to build a canal through Panama caused the ship that needed to come and help in the fight with the Spanish-American War 68 days to go from here to here. And by the time they reached there, they really couldn't be much of a help because the war was almost over. Fortunately, the United States won the war anyway. But what if a battleship were urgently needed to go from one ocean to the other in the future? In 1902, the French sold their rights to build a canal to the United States. Building the canal kept 40,000 people busy. when the Panama Canal opened in 1914. All nations not at war with the United States were allowed to use the canal. Remember, who built the canal, Layden? The United States. So therefore, do you think we want a country that's at war with us to be able to use it, Catherine? No, why? It wouldn't be good. Why would we want to help people who are at war with us travel quicker? We want them to have to travel longer. So if the country wasn't at war with us, they could use the Panama Canal so that if someone from China wanted to travel to Pennsylvania, instead of having to go all the way down around the tip of South America, they could now come straight through here and up to Pennsylvania. So we save them the whole trip this way and save them a lot of time, a lot of gas, and things like that. Although the United States bought the right to build this canal, they first had to have the approval of the people of Panama. And since the United States had paid over $300 million to build this canal, the United States now had the right to control and protect this canal. Although the United States controlled the canal, the people of Panama had always regarded the 10-mile piece of land on which the canal was built as theirs. With the passing of years, the people of Panama grew restless. They began to demand that the United States give the country of Panama more control over the canal. Even though the United States broke no law by building the canal in Panama and had every legal right to keep the canal, the United States graciously agreed to give the canal to Panama. By 1978, the United States government voted on a treaty. By the treaty or promise, the United States gave the ownership of the Panama Canal to the country of Panama in the year 2000. Although according to the treaty, the United States will always have the right to defend the canal in case of war or trouble. However, the fact that this important canal would be in place in the hands of a small, weak country might tempt an enemy to take over Panama and thereby gain control of the canal. Many Americans believe that we should have kept the canal to make sure that it remained in safe hands. Over 13,000 ships use the Panama Canal each year. Each ship, whether it's American or foreign, has to pay a toll to pass through the canal. This toll, figured by the size of the ship, usually amounts to $5,000 or more. Now think of this. I pay a toll. If I went to Jersey and came back, I pay a $5 toll to get back into Philadelphia or Pennsylvania. Could you imagine having to pay $5,000 in order to get back somewhere? But normally a lot of ships that pass through that are ships for trade and things like that, so therefore they can afford that. But think of this, we also paid $300 million to build that canal. Therefore, eventually we have to get our money back. Also, do you think we could just build it and not repair it? Do you think we need to keep it repaired? We need to stop playing, because playing, we're distracting other people. Jonathan, do you think we have to repair the canal, or do you think it repairs itself? We have to repair it. It doesn't just repair itself. It would be nice if it did. If you look on page 202, it'll show a picture of the Panama Canal. So that's what the Panama Canal looks like right now. So it cost us $300 million to build the canal. We also have to keep it repaired. And for the country that owns the ship, the toll is much cheaper than the price of sailing a large ship around the 8,000 miles that would go around the tip of South America. A ship usually takes about 8 hours to travel through the Panama Canal, and it would take weeks to sail around the tip of South America. The Panama Canal is quite a short time. So we are going to end right there. And we actually are ending right on time. So it's lunchtime for you guys. So enjoy your hour break. Enjoy your lunch. I will see all of us back at 1:30. Okay. So I'm going to end that out. And let me